What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode 259 of the Aussie Gamers Experience podcast. In the show this week, keep on constructing. The band Hammer is a hovering. 10 years of infamy, having a cranking good time. Modern Warfare goes soft. Sonic Racing, daunting monsters, dreaming of Star Wars, games galore, and much, much more. Editing Lucas, you know what to do.
3, 2, 1. 0.
We recommend wearing headphones.
This is the Aussie Gamers
Experience.
News, reviews,
and outlandish fun. Experience it all.
That's right, everyone. Welcome to the show for this week. Today is Monday, the 27th of May, 2019. I am your host, Snoogs, and joining me for hosting duties this week is the one and only Lucas.
Yes,
Hi,
I'm back for another week. Yes, I'm very good. Thank you very much.
I have a very important question to ask you first.
Sure.
Did you leave the fridge open?
No, but it is bloody cold.
Hasn't it dropped?
Yeah, I know. I had a motorbike ride today, which I put up on Twitter and all that, where I went with a whole bunch of friends. We went for a
I was
ride.
going to ask if you've still got 2 lumps in your throat.
Oh, man, my nipples were so sore. Oh, man. They were just like rock hard and rubbing up against my jacket, and they were just like, oh, it's so painful. Oh.
Yeah. You kept going cross-eyed, so you nearly dropped your bike a couple of times.
Yeah, and it rained on the way back, so we got a bit wet.
Oh.
Yeah. Of course, we had beautiful weather leading up to today, and then, we get, like, gale-forced winds and rain when I'm trying to go for a ride. But anyway, it was still fun.
Yeah, so I was out and about in it, and I was sitting down doing some emails and whatnot in a nice little area of Sydney. Then all of a sudden it went overcast, started to rain, and then the wind hit. And I went, nope, I'm done.
Oh, scariest thing about the wind with the ride is that it was dropping tree branches all over the road where we were going. There was actually one point where we had to stop and just wait on the road until traffic management came and moved the tree-sized branch that was across the road. Wow. But anyway, I didn't die. I'm here.
Well,
And
you're
yes,
here, so that's always a good thing. And you're being here. Grejio is not,
Yes.
because he might be on his deathbed.
He's
So we
not
all need to send him
dying.
some love. And we go, yeah, okay, enough of that. He's not dying, he's all right. He's just a bit crook.
Yes, you get me 2 weeks in a row. Well done.
Yes, of course. All right, well, before we jump into it, a quick g'day to Azrael, Kaz, and Radicus, the ultimate sex machine.
Unstoppable.
Oh, unstoppable. Is it ultimate or unstoppable?
It's
If you're the
unstoppable
ultimate,
sex machine.
You're unstoppable.
I suppose. Both. He'll take both.
He'll
Both
take
are
both.
correct. All of the above.
All right, well, how about we jump straight into it, mate?
Let's do it.
All right, this week in gaming, we're going back to 2014. Today, 2014, actually saw the release of Watch Dogs.
Oh, I loved that game.
You did, didn't it? Did you end up... I can remember there was lots of talk around it. Lots of talk on the podcast about it as well. Did you end up platinuming that one? Because I think there was the drinking game or something you were stuck on.
That's right. Yes. No, I did. Actually, now that we're a few years clear of that, I've got to come clean about something. That drinking game was absolutely ridiculous, and you needed to finish all of them to get the platinum trophy, right? Well, back in the day, so back then, I was like, yeah, I got the trophies and I've got the platinum. I'm so awesome. I cheated. I'm coming clean. I'm coming clean. I got Rep Premier to do that trophy for me.
Yeah, okay.
Because he did it on his. I don't even think he got the platinum, but he got that trophy on his, and I was at his place, and I said to him, dude, I'm going to log into my account. You're going to do that for me. He's like, okay. And he got it. I'm like, oh, I'm not telling anybody. I think I swore him to secrecy too. I'm like, you cannot tell anybody that you got the trophy.
Don't say a thing.
But here I am coming clean. That's it. I'm being honest now. I cheated. I didn't get the drinking game trophy. Reprimir did. So there you go. There's a weight off my shoulders. I'll be able to get a nice sleep tonight, finally.
Good night's sleep because of that.
That's right.
Well, of course, it was developed and published by Ubisoft. It's still to this day one of the best 24-hour periods selling of a new IP by Ubi.
Oh, really? Well, yeah. Radicus is saying in the chat that he couldn't understand the hate. Yes, it got a lot of hate because it was the classic downgrade from E3 trailer or E3 gameplay to release, and it was
the controversy I was dribbling beforehand.
Yeah,
there's a massive controversy of the graphical downgrade between the E3 trailer and the release.
Yeah, but I mean, it's all about gameplay, isn't it? In the end, I mean, obviously that is a disappointment. But if the gameplay is good, I don't care about the overall graphics. And I loved the game. I really enjoyed it. The multiplayer stuff too was cool. I really enjoyed the virtual game of hide and seek. And I would still really like to go back to at least Watch Dogs 2 and play that. Because did you ever play the multiplayer part?
Yeah, I played it with you.
Yeah, okay. Good memories, those ones. But yeah, so you would have to find somewhere to hide, and they would need to. The enemy would have to find you, and they could hack out all the cameras and move things to try and find you. And I think they had to. I think they had to kill you, didn't they?
Yeah, something like that. It was that good little sneak around. I'm pretty sure it ended up being one or the other would die.
Yeah,
and
or escape or something like that.
Other.
Yeah, if they found you and you escaped, so you got away from them, you win. But the thing I liked about it so much is that people that played the game for a million years, sweaties that's all they play every day, they didn't necessarily have an edge on you. It was still fairly even playing ground. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good game.
Yeah, as just put in the chat, one of the things that I really enjoyed about it was, you'd walk up next to someone and their bio would come up because you're hacking, their phone or whatever. And some of it was just twisted. There was some people who developed this was just, they had fun with it.
And you could intercept their text messages and stuff like that, and just little side stories and see what was going on. I think it was a fantastic game. I really hope there's a Watch Dogs 3. It's not like a real strong game in the way of it's an ongoing story. They could make a 3 with completely different characters again, and it would still be cool, I think. But I think it holds its own in that right. It's very unique. It's a unique game. I thought it was great.
Oh, good stuff. All right, mate. Well, let's jump in and start the main meaty bit of the show, shall we?
Sure.
On to some game talk. So I've played a little bit of a lot and a lot of a little bit.
Okay. What?
Does that make sense?
No. I mean, I'm sure it does, but it's...
It will when I get into it. So I've been playing around on Steam this week. Right. And there's a game that I'll start off with that you and I have both played called Project Winter.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So Project Winter is a new game. I believe it's still technically in sort of beta period at the moment.
Is it early access, is it?
Yeah, like an early access type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not very many people playing it. I have since tried to find a game a couple of times and just has not worked. But the aim of the game is you're a group of survivors in the snow and you need to escape. The problem is that to escape, you've got to repair, like a radio tower, a generator, and things like this, so you can get a signal out so that someone can come and rescue you.
Yeah.
Now, sounds pretty basic, pretty straightforward. But then you throw in the, what do they call them?
Oh, the
seat.
There's traders or something like that.
Traders. Yeah, that's a good word. Yeah, traders. The Snoogs, yeah.
Well, yeah, the video games version of you, where they need to sabotage the rescue mission. Which I don't know why. Why would you do that? Why would anyone do that? You're stuck too.
Yeah, but it's fun. No, because if you sabotage it correctly, you get out as well. You get out. Oh,
and everybody else is dead.
And everyone else dies.
Oh, right, okay.
So you're really just being an ass. It put this great little twist on it. You got found out very quickly though.
Well, yeah, I guess so. That was pretty funny though, because those guys fell for the dumbest trick that I could have pulled.
Yeah,
which I'll explain in a sec. But keep going.
Yeah. So, go into it. So the traders sort of side of it. There's so many different aspects that you can do to it. You can booby trap things. You can sabotage, the equipment so that they can't make them work. And your job is also to stay so that the people trying to get away don't find out that you're trying to, being a traitor. So what was one of the ones that you did, mate?
So I didn't know what I was doing. This was the first game I played, and we worked out that we just coincidentally that you and I together became the traders, right? And we weren't partied up, which was the weird thing. So it was just random who the traders were, and it was you and I. And I had no idea, but I picked up some berries. And then there was these crates that only the traders can open. And it was suggested, don't open in front of other people, because if you can open that, then they'll know that you're the traitor. So anyway, I waited till everyone was out of sight. I opened it up, and it had some vials of poison and all that sort of stuff in there, right? So I picked some berries off the trees, and then I went inside this hut where I could cook the berries and cook the berries with poison. So I had poisoned berries. And I'm thinking, how am I gonna give this to somebody and not have them know that I poisoned them? So what I thought I would do is I would just throw them on the ground inside the hut. And I thought, look, no one's going to fall for that. Surely they know there's somebody out there to kill them. If they just see food on the ground for the taking, surely they won't pick it up. Immediately, about 10 seconds after I put it on the ground, this guy, and he deserved it, because what a jerk, if it's somebody else's food that they've put on the ground, just picked it up and ate it. Didn't even care. Didn't even say, hey, whose is this? Can I have this? Picked it up and ate it. And immediately, and we could hear them through game chat, and immediately they've gone, oh no, this was poisoned. Who was in here? Who was that? Who was that? Everybody in here, say your name, because of some reason we'd all turned into bunny rabbits at that point, which was really bizarre. I can't explain why that happened, because Kazakal spoke over the top of the explanation as to what was going on, but that's not his fault. He wasn't to know. And I said, oh yeah, I'm in here. And he's like, it was you. You poisoned him. You're a traitor. I'm like, no, man, I don't know what I'm doing, eh? And they're like, that's exactly what a traitor would say. And I'm thinking, yeah, he's pretty much right, but fuck him.
Meanwhile, I'm outside pulling shit apart.
Yeah, you're out there like bloody sabotaging everything.
Giggling to myself because you and I can talk over Discord.
Yeah.
I was trying to hear it inside the game chat.
So he got sick. He didn't die. He obviously managed to heal himself and all that sort of stuff. But then later on, I went outside and went, oh, you can sabotage these panels. And I literally I was just doing it because I was experimenting, because I didn't know what I was doing. So I've sabotaged his panel. And then once again, immediately somebody else comes over and pulls the handle on the panel, and it explodes. And then all of these wolves come and start attacking. And they're like, oh no, that was sabotaged. I managed to talk them around, though, and got them... I think I convinced them that I wasn't a traitor, but I just didn't know what I was doing, and I've done what I've done by accident. And then at the end, when the game finishes, we went into the screen, and it obviously shows who was the traitor. And it was funny hearing the guy goes, oh, I knew it! I should have killed him!
Yes.
You know what?
I got eaten by a bear.
Yeah.
But as a ghost, you could run around. So they're all huddled around this little fire, right, trying to stay warm while this storm's blowing through. And as a ghost, I can get up close to them and give them chills.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I've got like these little things. They're on, all of them are on cooldown, and you sort of hit them, and it pushes out like cold. So it puts the fire out.
Oh.
So I'm just standing there. They can't see me. It's only me that can see me running around as a ghost. And just do it, and then their fire goes out, and they're like, "What's going on?" I'm like,
That's cool. You know, well, like in hindsight, that it is actually a really cool game. It was just a little bit weird and frustrating at first because noob didn't know what I was doing. But now, obviously, I know how the game works, and I've played it and all that. I've got to give it props. It's a pretty cool game.
Yeah, the good thing was that, you know, we got in, we had to play, we had to play with people that obviously knew what they were doing. The issue is that when we come back to go around again, they blocked the party off, so we couldn't get back into it.
Oh, that's right. And we had to join them because there was no games.
So they're eight player games, and there was 8 players on for
well, that's
speaking world.
That's something I feel we should mention too. Like, I mean, although it's a good game, it's kind of dead. So
I understand
unless
it's quite expensive for us as well, isn't
it's
it?
$27. If you don't have a group of friends to play it with, you're going to have a hard time trying to find the game.
Yeah.
which is a shame. But it's $27.99.
You can go around the world. You can go around the world and look for games, but each region that I went into, there was only 1 or 2 games in it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, you know, a stream of different games you could try and jump in. It was just, you know, 1 or 2. And in the US, there was 1. In Europe, there was only 1 that was English. In Asia, there was none that were English, like English speaking. And it kind of limited what you could do.
Yeah, I think we were very lucky to get into that game real quick, and that was an Australian game. They were the Aussies. But, you know, you get those, like, I said it actually while we were playing, and I said to them, I don't know if you knew what I meant by it, but I said, you can tell that you play a lot of video games. He just had there's a particular stereotype of video game player that is kind of like an elitist, but is actually shit at the same time. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
They carry on about you not doing things right, but they're not very good themselves.
Yes.
And that was that guy that I poisoned with the berries. He was sort of, I think he thought he was the ringleader, shouting orders, everybody come inside, everybody do this, and all that sort of stuff, but then fell for a stupid noob trick of poisoning berries and putting them on the floor. There's those guys out there.
Yeah. I just love the fact that at one point you went, "Oh, Snoogs, this is a game made specifically for you." Yeah, mate. Well, why don't you tell us about one of yours that you've been playing? A new release, Sonic Team Racing.
Yes, Sonic Team Racing. I played that last week with Brian from Synth Spacies. We did a live stream together. Unfortunately, that night the stream we had that whole Optus scenario thing with the internet's not working properly, so it wasn't that great. There was no chat working for me, but the game was completely separate to that, and we had a really good time playing that. Now, if you don't know, Sonic Team Racing is a new kart style racer which is available on pretty much everything, you know, your Switch, PS4, Xbox, PC, and it's a Mario Kart clone. And for that, I've got to say they've done a very good job with it. It's a very competent kart racer. It was fun. It has your power ups just like Mario Kart. There's heaps of tracks just like Mario Kart. The graphics are great. The game ran really good. I was playing it on Xbox One S, and there was connectivity issues. We couldn't connect with a lobby. We could only race each other. But I can't say whether or not that was the internet issues, because I was having Optus internet issues, which, I don't know, you may or may not be aware, but last week there was a big issue with people that had Optus internet, which I do, where certain gaming services, Netflix, all that sort of stuff were playing up. It wasn't, like the internet wasn't cut off. It worked, but certain things,
just sporadic,
certain things weren't working right. I think it was like, it's not like it was an internet outage. It was more like some back end protocols that weren't running properly. So
I had issues with my phone because I listen to podcasts while I'm in the car driving around for work, and most of the day they just wouldn't work.
Are you with Optus too?
Yeah, for the work phone, yeah.
Right, okay, yeah. So there you go. There's just so that whole couldn't get into a matchmaking problem, and this was the day after release as well. So I would have expected it to be a little bit easier to get a game, but it may have been the internet issues there. But look, it's a pretty cool game. There's heaps of characters to use. They're all really fun. The controls are good. Like, it still has that sort of power slide sort of thing with boost, like Mario Kart.
Party sort of feel to it.
Yeah. And look, I don't really know what else to say about it. Like, there's heaps of game modes as well. There's a ton in there. It is probably the next best thing to Mario Kart. If there was ever going to be a competitor for Mario Kart, and I'm talking about Mario Kart 8, this is it. It's up there. I don't know if I'd go as far as to say it's better. Actually, no, I do know. It definitely isn't better than Mario Kart 8, but it's very, very close. It's up there. It's a very good kart racer. So, yeah, I would recommend if anybody's keen on that game but not sure, go on. It's good.
Give it a crack. No worries. Well, I have downloaded it, but I haven't played it yet.
Oh, come on, man. Finger.
So I've got to pull it, get it done. I know. Well, something I have played. So, like I said, I've played a little bit of a lot. A game called Airport Madness.
Right. Oh, is that like that old school iPhone game?
I think so.
Where you've got all the aeroplanes flying around and you need to direct them onto a runway?
Yeah. And when they're on the runway, you've got to tell them when to taxi out, taxi in.
Ooh, that's an upgraded version of it. What are you playing that on?
So it's on PC.
Oh, okay.
So
was it free, was it?
Very old. I honestly don't know where I got it from.
Oh, I'm sure it was free.
It might have been, you know what? It might have been a code I pinched off Kazza.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, because you don't flippantly buy games on Steam. They're either free...
No, I flippantly buy them on PlayStation, but not on Steam.
You don't even do it on PlayStation. You guard every penny you have with such vigour.
Yeah, that's because my wife keeps trying to take it off me.
Yeah, fair enough. Hold them close.
Gotta guard them, keep them close. So yeah, it kind of works on that same sort of civilization sort of mentality. You start off in a field with a little runway on it, and then over time, as you're sort of building and going through the levels, that runway starts to get a hangar built on it, and then gets an airport built around it. And it just slowly and surely grows into this big international airport. Very basic, but it's also pretty cool as well. Like I can't say that it's a game where you could just switch your brain off and play it, because you've actually got to be really tactical about it.
What's it called?
Airport Madness.
See, I'm looking it up right now to have a look, and there's a few, because there's an Airport Madness collection.
Madness Time Machine.
Oh, Time Machine.
Okay, there you go.
This is a collection for $71. Airport.
No, I think this one
Madness
would have been about $3 or $4, I reckon.
Nah, $10. $9.95.
$10. There you go.
Oh, okay. No, that doesn't look anything like what I was imagining. Oh, yeah, no, It's similar. Yeah, similar. Just different style of graphics. More realistic in a cartoony way.
Yeah, so that's been pretty cool. I've been debating whether to stream it, because then again, I can see myself raging at that game. I don't know why. It just gives me that sort of feel about it.
It's one of those games, I reckon, that you'd start playing it and go, oh yeah, this is easy, and then it ramps up and does your head in. Kind of like PC building simulator.
It very much could be. Well, another game on Steam, mate. Rescue Team 4. This is definitely a game that should be on handheld mobile devices.
Okay.
So it's a little game where you know how you get on like Candy Crush or whatever, and you got all the levels in that sort of snake up the screen, kind of like that. So you've got all little levels. You control these rescue people, and areas are flooded, bridges are broken, houses need to be repaired, burger shops need to be repaired so that you can feed your workers. They also need to be paid money, so you've got to click that.
Yeah, this is a game that looks like those carpet mats that you had when you were a kid.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah, I have that. Never played it.
It's not bad.
I'll take your word for it.
It's intriguing. It's very much different. Mate, how about you talk about, where have I put your name? What's the other one you're talking about?
Well, I got Dauntless and Rumble Stars.
Dauntless. What did you think of Dauntless?
Dauntless. Now, played that last night with yourself, with Kazakal and Az. And it's actually really fantastic. It's a free-to-play game. Radicus says it looked shit. Okay, right here. Give it a go, Radicus. It's on everything that you own, and it doesn't cost you a penny, so it's worth trying. Look, it's kind of like Monster Hunter. Now, I'm no big Monster Hunter fan. Actually, I don't really like Monster Hunter very much, but this it is different in the fact that it's not a massive big RPG or anything like that. It's more of a it's a dumbed down Monster Hunter. It's like Monster Hunter Light. So essentially you start off, you've got a character, you go through a bit of a tutorial, you craft up some simple weapons, and then you load up a game. And then you go into this little kind of small open world, and the job is go and find the monster, which is just like a monster. It's like they kind of look like dinosaurs. You go in there and you kill them. And it starts off relatively easy. Takes you a while to kill them, but they don't do too much damage. The threat levels are pretty low. And then as you go, you get different missions. They want you to take down this kind of monster, so you go and take that one down. They get harder, they get stronger. A little bit, they start getting projectile. They start getting immunities where you'll have to break through some sort of barrier before you can do damage. And then you go back to sort of like your hub world, and you spend the things that you've found, whether it be crafting with crafting supplies like plants, or you can then, from taking down the monster, you can go and craft new weapons, new armor, and then it's just basically a rinse and repeat thing. And it's a free to play game, so you can splash some cash if you want, or you can just go and play the game casually and work your way up with better gear slowly. And look, as far as I'm concerned, I think it's a fantastic game. It's definitely not a waste of time to give it a try, but it is good fun. I had a good time with it last night. We streamed it for about 3 hours, I think. More fast paced, as Rael says. I don't know much about Monster Hunter, so I guess that's true.
Well, it's very drop in, drop out. It's kind of Fortnite with monsters, really. It's 15, 20-minute rounds. You go back, you run around a sort of hub, and then get together and go again. Yeah. It's
a bit rinse and repeat, but it's like I said, it gets harder, so you have to start sort of paying good attention to what you're doing, because some of the monsters are susceptible to fire damage. So then you might want to change your loadout and take something that does fire damage. And then some of them are susceptible to ice, and then you got to change your loadout. So you got to think of these things. Early on, it doesn't really matter because they're pretty easy. But once they start getting a bit on, you need to take every little advantage you can, So it's actually quite a smart game, and I think it works fine. I love the fact that it's cross-platform with everything too, because we were playing last night. I was on PC, you were on PC, Kaz was on PC, but Azrael was on Xbox One. But we also saw PlayStation symbols in the game as well, so you can play cross with any of them. This is a game that sort of just snuck up. I never heard about this game coming soon, and all of a sudden it arrives, and it's cross-platform with everything. Except for the Switch. I don't think it's on the Switch.
Yeah, I didn't see any Switch there.
But I think that's bloody impressive. And I think it'll do well.
The fact that it all works, and, a few times before, Az jumped in as well. We were playing with someone that was on PS4. So there was 3 of us, and the 4th was someone running on PS4. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, Radicus is suggesting that Sony doesn't know about it. Well, when Fortnite came out and they accidentally had it crossplay with PS4, and they're like, oops, turn that off. Maybe that's happened.
Oops, sorry.
Nah, but
Maybe.
Sony
We'll find
have
out next week.
they have backpedaled on that whole no crossplay bullshit now. Anyway, they're starting to do it, so I wouldn't be surprised if more games start coming through with it.
Well, mate, keep on keeping on it. Tell us about Rumble Stars.
Okay, now Rumble Stars. Now, some people are going to roll their eyes at this and say, that's not gaming, but it's mobile. It's a mobile game. Now, Snoogs, while I'm chatting about it, can you confirm for me, is it on Android? Because I don't have any Android devices. But the game's called Rumble Stars. And basically, it's take Clash Royale and mix it up with soccer. And this is what Rumble Stars is. And it sounds weird, but what it is, you've got all these different characters, right? So there's like a tiger, which is like your jack of all trades, who will move. You've got him down the bottom, just like in Clash Royale, and you flick him onto the playing field. So your tiger goes out there, and he will automatically go to the ball wherever it is, grab it, shoot it at goal, right? Okay, I don't know what Snoogs is doing, but Radicus has managed to confirm it's on Android. Very good.
Oh, I can only find one called Rumble Stars Football. I'm trying to see if that's the right thing.
Oh, it probably is.
Is it a soccer game?
Yeah. Well, yeah. You weren't listening to anything I was just saying?
I was looking for something with a ball. I'm like, oh, okay, there's little things. Are they animals? What are they?
Yeah, they're animals. On mine, it just says Rumble Stars, but it is Rumble Stars Soccer. It might be slightly different on Android. But yeah, so you've got all these animals, right? So there's the tiger guy, which is the striker tiger that I was just talking about. He'll run around and take shots at goals. And then you've got, say, the loyal dog, who's my very good boy. And what he will do is he will only, when he gets the ball, he will only pass it to another player. So if you've only got a loyal dog out on the field, he's just going to dribble all over the place and not do anything, because he doesn't shoot, he just passes the ball. Okay, it's kind of like a bit of chess action here as well. And now I've got a sniper wolf as well, so you can flick your wolf out there. And what sniper wolf will do is he will take a few seconds once he gets the ball, he'll line up a shot, take a couple of seconds to power up, and he will just hammer the ball towards the goal, right? So a powerful shot. But he takes a few seconds, so he can be tackled in that time. And then you've got other characters. I've got one called Lazy Panda. Lazy Panda is a winner. Lazy Panda will not move. Unless he has the ball, he won't do anything. He will just fall asleep. But if you've got the very good boy, the dog, who will get the ball and pass it to Lazy Panda, and then Lazy Panda will take a shot. So are you getting the sort of the picture how you line it up and get it to work? So if you you flick all these different characters. There's a whole bunch more of them, right? So there's like a seal, there's a raging bull, and all that sort of stuff, and heaps more to unlock. You flick them out, and it uses the kind of like a mana bar, just like Clash Royale, and which obviously limits who you can flick onto the field. Some of them use more, some of them use less. And you basically just got to score goals. And first to 3 goals wins. And I really enjoy it. I think it's fantastic. I've been playing it quite a fair bit now, getting up my trophies. It's the same sort of system as Clash Royale. You get trophies for the win. More trophies upgrades you to the next pitch. And then so on and so forth. And then you get soccer balls to unlock, which are kind of like loot boxes. They'll take anywhere from sort of 3 to 12 hours to unlock. There you go. That's Rumble Stars. I think it's great. Give it a go. As soon as I've got enough money.
Downloading it, so am I.
Yeah, grab it. As soon as I've got enough money, I'm saving up to make a guild, which is like a clan, I guess. But it costs I think it's like 1,000 to create. Yeah, 1,000 coins to create a clan, which sucks. But I'm going to save up and do that next and make an Age XP clan. And we'll see if it catches on. If you guys like it and want to keep playing it, we'll verse each other, whatever. It's a cool game.
Very cool.
That's it.
All right, mate. Well, that's all from you. And I've only got one more. Can you guess what it is? Division
2.
Who would have thunk it?
Oh!
Mate? So That's where I've played a lot of a little. So much grinding. All I'm doing at the moment is dailies. There is a special sort of promotional thing on at the moment where it's different apparel, different skins, like different clothing, emotes, all that sort of jazz, which you do certain things within the world to get these boxes, and then unlock those boxes, and you get new and fancy shit to put on. So yeah, just going around doing that and just refining my build more so than anything else. I've now got a build that I can run. I can run heroics by myself, which
so
I think is pretty cool.
So are they just the missions, but just on like heroic difficulty?
Yeah, heroic difficulty. You can also pull there's a whole lot of control points all over the area where, you know, you've got a control point officer there's loot boxes inside it, there's ammo restocks, and they sort of control that area and send out raiding parties and blah, 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 blah for that area. You can raise their alert level by taking out, you know, they'll have adjoined to this control point, there'll be a hostage situation, or there'll be an area that's being controlled by certain people because it's, you know, where water's found, things like that. And they raise their awareness up to a level 4, which is heroic, and then you can go in and get, you know, the best loot sort of thing. Haven't tried the raid this week. My clan beat the first 2 bosses last night. Raid time, I think, is down to 38 minutes to finish a raid on the PlayStation now. So that's a far cry from the 30-odd hours that it took first time round. So it's getting quicker. People are getting it all down, Pat. And last time I played the raid, we got very close to getting through, and then a few people dropped out. But yeah, I couldn't jump on last night. I couldn't, you know, put the time aside to do it. So a few people jumped on in my place, and they got through the first couple of bosses, which was cool. Radicus is just Rage. He's been playing Rage 2. Hasn't played Mortal Kombat. And Blood and Truth VR. Yes, Blood and Truth VR. I'm looking forward to that one.
Is it out this week? I really need to set up my VR again.
That is out later this week, I think.
There's just so many cables. Oh,
I know.
Man.
I'll just give you a key, mate. Come around. It's sitting here. It's all connected. It's all right.
Oh, what's harder? Driving all the way to your place just to use a VR or to set it up?
Yeah, what is harder? Pretty much there. All right, well, let's jump into some news, shall we, mate?
Okay.
We have a game that released today on Steam.
Okay, what is it?
Constructor Plus.
What is that?
Now, you're probably thinking, what the hell is Constructor Plus?
Oh, yeah.
Why the hell do you care? Constructor Plus is the next iteration of the Constructor game. Now, the Constructor game was first released back in 1997, and I played a shit ton of it. It was so much fun. It's a SimCity style game with a little bit, you know, back in 97, SimCity was still very basic. There was a lot to do about it, but visually and graphically, it was very basic. Constructor was ahead of SimCity. It didn't have those core mechanics like having to do, you know, sewerage and water and all that sort of stuff that you did in SimCity. But it just had, it was a lot better to look at, and it had this sort of cartoony sort of style to it. This Constructor Plus has released today.
No, it hasn't.
Yes, it has.
I'm looking at it. Release date, 28th of May. That's tomorrow, buddy.
Well, I was reading it before and it said today.
Well, they've moved the goalposts on you, mate. It says it unlocks in 4 hours.
Unlocks in 4 hours?
Yeah. Well, approximately 4 hours, it says.
Yeah, okay. 27th in the UK. Okay. All right.
Sorry for railroading that. Derailing that, I mean.
By the time this goes live, it'll be out. So
yes.
Here we go. I just found that to be a pretty cool little thing that, a flick back to a game that I used to play a lot when I was younger. So my late teenage years. And new version of it's coming out, and I'm going to have a crack.
Doesn't look new.
No, it's kind of like a polished, it's still nicer than the original.
So they've said plus instead of remastered. Gotcha.
I think so. But either way, I have hit up the developers and asked them for, release information, all that sort of jazz, just to get a bit more info behind it, because the stuff that I've been looking for today hasn't been loading properly. Probably because it's not out yet. Infamous anniversary.
Yes, right. So, it's been 10 years since Infamous was originally released back on the PS3? Yeah, PS3, that's it.
Yes.
Now, what they've done is what are they called? I didn't write. Oh, yes, I did write it down. The developers, Sucker Punch. They've gone to Twitter and they've tweeted out some previously unknown facts about the game during development. And some of them were actually quite interesting. I've just taken down the ones that I thought were really cool. Oh, spoilers. Come on, dude. So, the original working title for the game was called True Hero. So, pretty happy with the change to Infamous there. Yeah. But I think that was just a working title. Like, I don't think the game was ever meant to be that. And what they did, there was actually a point where they had to, I think it was going to be like an E3 reveal of the game. They had 2 separate trailers, and one of them had the title True Hero, and the other one had Infamous. But the thing is, they were still waiting to get confirmation that Infamous was going to be the title. It had to be trademarked or, copyrighted before they put it out there, because then they need to make sure nobody steals it. So thankfully, though, it was all ready to go in time. So it was released as, or announced as, Infamous. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, True Hero, horrible name. The next one that they've got up there was you could change out of a superhero outfit into your civilian clothes by using a phone booth. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. You're not Superman. That would have been lame. So I'm glad they took that out of the game. Next little fact is that the main character, Cole McGrath, was originally referred to as Gearwolf.
That has a reference. What is that reference?
What do you mean?
Gearwolf. How do you spell gear? You got it written down there?
Gear.
Oh, Gearwolf.
What do you think I said?
No, there's like there's a thing in like mythology that's not gear. It's like Giur or something like that.
Oh no, Wolf. This was just Gearwolf. I think it's because of like gadgets and stuff. I don't know, but anyway, that's what they referred to him as, and then he was eventually changed to be Cole McGrath. No, not Beowulf. No. Radicus is suggesting Beowulf, but nah, that's different again. Then another one that they said was that originally the characters in the game spoke gibberish and used emotes instead of recorded dialogue. Not 100% sure if that was what they were going to go with, or it was sort of just like a placeholder for when there was no dialogue recorded yet. But yeah, really glad they did recorded dialogue, because yeah, that would have been crap. Kind of like Simlish, which yeah, Sims action game. Yeah, that's right. Another one, which was briefly spoiled by you at the start of this segment, but there was a rideable motorcycle that you could do parkour stunts with. Could have been cool. It actually didn't look that bad in the little snippet that they posted up of it. It actually looked like it was a pretty good mechanic in the game. Weird, but it looked pretty cool.
Would it have worked on the PS3?
Well, I don't know. It worked in the little video that they had.
their little 3-second snippet, yeah.
Yeah. And the last little one was that there was experiments. Well, they've got more up on their Twitter. Go and check out Sucker Punch's official Twitter. But the last one I've noted down here is that there were experiments made with a skating mechanic where you could like skate on like hoverboard thingies. But I guess that they sort of took that out but left it in a little bit, because it was kind of like a little bit skatey, like grinding, because you could sort of skate/grind across power lines.
Yeah.
In that one, which was pretty cool. I actually really enjoyed doing that. That was cool. But that sort of lived on a little bit in there. But that's the 6. I think there's another 4 odd there that you can go and check out on the Twitter. But 10 years on for Infamous, and that's another game that I'm hoping we see. Well, maybe for the PS5 now, but an Infamous 4. Or there's 3 of them, isn't there? Yeah. and Infamous 4. Or would it have to be Infamous 3? Because technically the third one that we got was just Infamous Second Son.
Yeah, but that was after Cole McGrath.
Well, yeah, so maybe they could make an Infamous 3 and bring Cole McGrath back.
Spoiler alert, but didn't he end up sacrificing himself?
Oh, well, I don't know.
I know on one.
Did he die? I can't remember.
One of those games, yeah, that's the thing. But it's one of those games where you could go good or bad.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that when he goes good, you actually like sacrifice yourself.
I can't remember. I really can't remember the end of 2. Look, whatever. Give me another one. I enjoyed the games.
Just bring him back. He's a superhero.
Yeah, well, that's right. I'm sure they could come up with some stupid story where he didn't die.
Some reason why. Oh, look, here he is there.
Yay. Hey, Skrill. What's up, man? Welcome to the live chat on the podcast.
All right, mate. Well, we're going to throw back to a game that's been talked about for, geez, God knows how long. I first got my hands on this at a Sony party not long after the launch of Uncharted. Not Uncharted. What's that one you like?
The Last of
Us. The game I'm talking about is Dreams.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so Dreams is currently in a paid alpha. So if you you pay a pre-order sort of thing, you get access to the alpha. And some of the community has gone absolutely ballistic with the stuff that's coming out. And this week, a Star Wars X-Wing game has been created within Dreams.
See, are these games, though, are they going to be viable games, or are they really just like, that's cool?
That's cool. Yeah. So this is a little level where someone's created something using, the creative tools that are within Dreams. And they've made a little level where you fly around, you shoot TIE fighters. That's what it is. But the thing is just the attention to detail. So it's been created by a YouTube channel called Project Genesis. And it kind of looks like an older style Battlefield game. Or Battlefront, I should say. So I think it was Battlefront 2 had the X-Wing shoot 'em up section in it. Anyway, so this is all the sort of stuff that a lot of people are starting to do and come up with within Dreams. And the game still hasn't even technically come out. So once it actually goes live, I can't wait to see what people come up with. Me, I haven't got an artistic bone in my body for stuff like that. So I'll just be watching what others do, I think.
Well, but that's the thing. Like, would you buy it for the sake of playing these little experiences?
No.
Well, that's the problem. With community content, like you've got the Track Central in Trials. I bought it for Trials, and then I just happened to have access to all these cool things, right?
Yes.
But it's almost like buying just the hope that other people make cool content, unless of course you are a creator and you can create cool things. But I can't do that.
Well, I can't create stuff like that too. I've played a very early version of Dreams, and it is exceptionally easy to do and exceptionally easy to create something within the world. But it was nothing fancy. It was nothing very special, and so it's going to end up being this big community project, and a lot of people that are going to be extremely talented are going to get in there. And there's going to be some epic stuff coming out. Actual purchasing it as a game, though, for myself, I don't think that's going to happen.
No, this reminds me of I really cannot remember what it was called, but back when the Xbox One originally came out, there was something that was in early access that eventually got canned. And it was very, very similar to what Dreams is. I can't remember what it was called, where you could make your own game. Someone in the chat might be able to help me out here. And, you could basically... There you go. Skrill, straight onto it. Project Spark is exactly what it was. And that never took off. I mean, it was in early access. I played it, and I played some of the little games, mini games that people made. I even had a hand at trying to make my own stuff. It was okay, but it was just that. But I think that eventually became sort of just free. I didn't think you had to buy that. Yeah, Dreams is cool, but I don't have any high hopes for it. I can't imagine it being, a raging success. So I don't know. I hope I'm wrong, but yeah.
The biggest thing for me is I've been watching it for so long. The event that I went to was one of the first events that I went to as Aussie Gamers. And, so just, it's, I met the people that worked on the game that were, that were very proud of what they'd done. I followed them on Twitter. They're UK based. I've, watched it go over so many years, and it's sort of always been this, it's coming. To actually get to a stage now where people have it in their hands, that's the bit that I find exciting.
That I could really see it making it work. And I don't know if this is or isn't a thing that they're planning on doing, but having a whole section of pre-made content by the devs. So essentially like a single-player campaign, if you will. That I think would be good. So buy it, play this awesome experience, but then make your own and play other people's.
Yeah, kind of like Little Big Planet was.
Exactly like that. That I can see it working. They're the people that made Little Big Planet, right?
I'm not sure. I'll have to double check.
I'm pretty sure that is correct. I'm pretty sure the people that made Little Big Planet is who are making Dreams. But yeah, if they could do that and have like a decent chunk of content that they ship with the game, like so the whole game creation isn't what you're buying only, then I can see that kind of working. Because imagine buying a game and not being able to play anything until you make it yourself.
Well, all this stuff that's being created now is available with it. They've also, apparently people have also made Metal Gear Solid's opening level. They've made a game around Dexter's Laboratory. So there's a lot of stuff already in there. But again, that'd be, you'd want to sort of say, okay, play through this, have fun, get used to the mechanics, and then go off to your world. I don't believe you, but I'm going to ask. Dead Island 2.
Yeah, Dead Island 2
Apparently it's not dead.
Isn't dead.
No.
Okay, believe it or not. Now, I don't have a lot of information here, but in a THQ Nordic interim report reported on by PC Gamer, it says that here Dead Island 2 is, in quotation marks, still being worked on. Okay, so this is according to the CEO, Lars Wingfors, however you pronounce his name. Sorry, Lars. Apparently it's still being worked on. See, the thing is, though, when you say Dead Island 2, I'm sure they've 100% scrapped what they had, because that was a long time ago now. I think...
You'd want to hope so, because, flashes of Duke Nukem come up.
Well, yeah, and it'll just be horrible. They need to restart it, because this was back in, I think, 2014 that I played it, because I played a playable version of Dead Island 2. That was the EB Games at the EB Games Expo in Sydney, yeah. And it was really just the same thing as the first and the second sort of game, just with new stuff. So if they were to sort of release that now, it's going to feel very dated. They're going to need to, and I'm sure that's what they would do, just completely scrap what they had, start afresh on a new engine, get it all up to scratch with current expectations of visuals and gameplays. And I would imagine that something along the lines of Techland's Dying Light would probably be successful for them. Time will tell. But it's not dead. They're tweeting about it. This is a recent thing that's happened, and they're talking about it being alive still. So it's coming, but who knows when. You know what I think? I don't care. I have Dying Light now. I don't really care about Dead Island anymore, because Dying Light is the Dead Island 2 game that I never got. So as far as I'm concerned, keep your Dead Island 2. I've got Dying Light 2 coming soon, which was always a far superior game, in my opinion.
All right, sweet, mate. Well, I've got some news on a very cute little handheld.
Oh, yes, I know that. That looks really cool. Do tell.
Okay, so handheld I'm talking about is called Playdate. I've got a little bit of information here. I'm going to try and put something up on the face up on the website. You would have thought I probably needed a bit more scotch in that coffee. Yeah, so it's going to put up a bit of information on the website. It's a little yellow handheld made by a company called Panic. Panic, you might know, the publishers for Firewatch and they're also publishing the Untitled Goose Game, which everyone sort of dubbed Jerk Goose.
Oh, yeah.
That's coming up very shortly. So this is kind of like a little Game Boy type device, but it's got something very, very weird about it because it's got an actual little crank on the side.
Yeah, it's kind of like a fishing reel thing.
Yeah. So you've got your four-way button and two just circle buttons, which I'm guessing are like jump and crouch or something along those lines. And you've got this crank that you turn. The crank is kind of like a, from what I've read anyway, kind of it makes time go forward or backwards, and you can speed it up or slow it down.
Right.
Sort of thing. So that's how this crank works. And the first game that's being released on it is a little black and white stick game that you crank, and as you crank, the little thing on the screen does, certain things. It kind of looks like a Tin Man robot, and he's going to get to a date to see his girlfriend, apparently. So as you turn, he moves, and there's other things within the world that are not affected by this crank. So as he's doing things on the screen, you've got to interact with other stuff that's happening. So, for instance, there's a little GIF floating around. There's not a lot of info on it. There's a little GIF where he's running along. He stops to smell a flower, then goes to take off. So as he goes to take off, there's something flying that you have to dodge. So what you do is you rewind time so that you go down to smell the flower, and the thing that's flying flies on past, and then you take off again. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Kind of, maybe. Yeah. So yeah, like it's very hard to describe what this thing is because, quite frankly, there's just nothing like it that's been done before.
Yeah, it's and apparently like there's going to be a certain amount of games, and they are all going to be included with the unit on shipping.
Yes, there'll be 12 games, which will run on the custom OS, which has been built from the ground up by Panic. It's got a rechargeable battery that charges off a USB-C port. It includes Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and a headphone jack, all in this little thing that looks like an iPod Nano that's been sort of stretched out.
Yeah. It looks really neat. I actually really want one. Strange that they've gone for like a monochrome screen, but hey.
Well, apparently
cool.
that's to add to it. It's a premium high resolution black and white screen.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, I like the idea. I don't know if many other people will, but I just like those kind of little nerd gadgets.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things. It's expected to ship early next year, and $150 will get you one. But we still don't know if it'll come to Australia.
Well, it'll probably be an internet purchase if you did. I can't imagine it selling in. Excuse me. Wow, yeah. In stores.
Pre-orders are happening later this year, so I guess if a lot of people pre-order it, we might get some out here. Who knows?
Maybe.
Mate, Modern Warfare's gone soft, hasn't it?
Yeah, and I don't really understand it. Okay, now there's a little bit of information coming around the internet, so I don't know how much to take of it, but it's doing so many rounds that, I don't know, there's got to be some sort of truth to it. But here's some background. The original Modern Warfare game was called Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. So the fourth Modern Warfare game, which has been floating around the internet, has been called Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Does that make sense to you? Yeah? Surely it does.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Yeah, let's go with yeah.
Right. Now, look, I don't know if it's going to be the fourth one. I don't think it is, because they're talking about being a soft reboot. What is a soft reboot? I'm asking. I don't know. I don't have the answer to this.
Yeah, I can probably throw some smart-ass answers out there, but none of them genuine. Why?
Because it makes it money, I guess, and it's a popular name.
Soft, yeah, but are they soft rebooting the title? Are they just rebooting? Like, are they doing a remaster of a remaster? Are they?
Redicus is spot on. They've run out of fucking ideas, is what's happened, and they're going with one that's a money-making machine. It's a cash cow. But I think this is. I'm going to have a guess as to what a soft reboot is. I think you get a soft reboot when you go back to the origins, but you don't necessarily follow how it went. Or is that a hard reboot? Oh, God. No, a hard reboot, I would think, is where they could, like, change the story. Was a soft... I don't know. What is a soft reboot? What the hell is that?
I don't know. And that is a game that you don't... It's playing with a piece of gaming history. I know where Call of Duty has gone now, and a lot of, faithful Call of Duty fans don't like, the way that it's gone now. But as soon as they announced the remaster of Modern Warfare, everyone was, yeah. But I need to know more, pretty much. I need to know more before I pass judgment. Need to know
none
what
of this is
about,
announced. This is all just sort of rumour and innuendo. I don't know where it's come from, but it's also just sort of internet suggestions that this is what's going on. So we have to wait a little bit.
What happens in 2 weeks?
Yeah, E3. Yeah, look, we'll probably find out more then. But yeah, hopefully, if it is a soft reboot, they explain what it is.
Hopefully, Radicus, the Vietnam and Korean wars have been ignored. They've been ignored for very good reason. There are still a lot of vets from those wars, and trivializing, what they went through, is not a good thing. That would there was something a few years ago when someone asked about why there hasn't been those wars, and it was quite simply that the Korean and Vietnamese wars were quite horrific, but so that's why they sort of stayed away from it as sort of like a respect thing. Oh yeah. But I'm with you, mate. I've got no idea what a soft reboot is. Hopefully, come the 10th, I think it's the 10th of June, we'll know a bit more.
Yeah. But yes, Skrill, Battlefield did do Vietnam.
Oh, there you go. Fair enough then. All right. A big one that I've left till last because I want to have a bit of a discussion on it as well. There's been a lot of talk recently about this loot boxes. Mm-hmm. And the US Congress has got involved, and they're pushing and gathering quite a lot of momentum for an anti loot box bill, I think is what they're calling it.
Yeah.
So they're proposing strict rules on pay to win microtransactions and loot boxes. Now, we've all known this was coming. It's got to a point where, loot boxes, people spending hard earned money and way too much money is becoming a form of gambling. And as soon as you get kids involved in something that's classified as an adult vocation, then that's a big no-no. I'd be saying like, people look at it as though you're selling, cigarettes to kids, something along those lines. I don't like personally when governments get involved in this sort of thing. I don't like loot boxes. I don't agree with loot boxes, so I don't support loot boxes. And I believe as a parent that it would be my position to educate my children and educate anybody that asks me as to what, loot boxes are and how they work and, what the pros and cons are. But that all goes out the window because we need to blame, the big bad boogeyman so the government will step in and take care of it. The thing that I have a question for, and we've gone over loot boxes many, many times and, what they've done. How far-reaching do you think this would be within the video gaming world?
What do you mean? How far-reaching?
Yeah, well, obviously this is, whenever you talk about something that's political, this is the Democratic and the Republican senators are both agreeing on something, which never happens. So you've got people on the far left and the far right of a political landscape who are agreeing on something. So you've got both elements. And as soon as you go too far either way, in my opinion, other people obviously think differently. If you go too far either way, it starts to, get a little bit out of hand. Of course, there's a lot of details. I haven't read the bill. It's a US bill. I don't understand a lot of it. That's fine. But do you foresee if there is a definite way in regards to how loot boxes are put in a game or banned altogether in certain countries? Do you see it affecting other parts of the gaming landscape?
Oh, I could only see us just going back to what we had before, but then there probably won't be as much money to do development. So the games probably will suffer. But at the same time, I hate loot boxes. I would like to see them banned. Radicus has put a good idea up here. Loot boxes should be banned from full price games. Fair enough if it's in a free-to-play game, but if you've paid a retail $99.95 or $79.95, whatever they are, retail game, get rid of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's be honest, EA caused this.
Oh, look, I don't think you can just blame EA.
No, well, we can't just blame them, but it was their latest fiasco, I think, with Star Wars. And, the fact that they limited amount of money that you could, like the amount of coins that you could earn in game to certain, time limits. If you played it for too long, they'd shut it off for a certain amount of time. And, if you wanted to progress, you'd have to pay for it. And just the excessive amount of time to unlock everything. There was all that sort of that's what blew up this thing. Like, it's always been murmuring in regards to, pay to win, microtransactions, loot boxes, all that sort of jazz. It's always been murmuring. But that last thing was the biggest explosion for it.
Well, remember once upon a time when we had to pay a $10 code for multiplayer if you bought a used game?
I honestly don't.
Oh.
Yeah, I know it happened, but I never had to do it.
Right.
I don't know why, or whether I just wasn't playing multiplayer then, or what it was, but I never had to do it myself.
Well, believe it or not, but The Last of Us had an online code.
Did it?
Yeah. You had to put a code in to play online. And if you bought it secondhand, you had to pay for it.
Oh,
they got rid of it. It was eventually patched out, but on release, there was a multiplayer code for The Last of Us. There you go.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I have a question for you.
Sure.
And for anyone listening, please let us know in the Discord channel, Facebook page, wherever you want to have a talk to us. I have two young daughters. One is 5 and one is 7. They are ridiculously obsessed about these things called LOL dolls. Okay. Have you seen these at all?
No.
Okay. So what these are, yours is probably a little bit old for these. Now, these LOL dolls, they are, they're $15, $15 to $20, depending on where you get them from. And they come in this little ball. Okay.
Yeah.
And Radicus has just put it in. They are chance. They are a physical loot box.
Oh yeah. There's heaps of these sort of things.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, these loot boxes, so to speak, we can use the term very broadly, but they're not just confined to video games. These things, you pay the money, you don't know what's inside it, you don't know if you've already got them, you're opening them up, and it's a game of chance.
Yeah, but these things have been around for a very long time. Do you ever remember picking up a Lucky Dip?
Yep.
Lucky Dips and I think Radicus makes a good point. Footy cards, trading cards, Pokemon cards.
Trading cards.
Same
Pokemon
thing.
Cards.
They're loot boxes.
Yeah. They're all loot boxes. So how are they not an issue, but a digital one is?
Well, I think the issue is that kids are able to buy them a lot easier if they've just got buying it on their console. Sure, yeah, okay. Parents have got to have the credit cards. It's their stupidity, but I think I think that's just the accessibility, how easy it is to access. It's like if you had a poker machine in your house.
I'd always win.
Well, as long as you owned the poker machine.
Yeah, I'd just have the door open.
But yeah, look, it's up for contention. But yeah, the reason why I don't like them in my video games is because sometimes they take away from what I should have fucking got from buying the game and put it into something I either get by chance or end up paying for, when I probably should have got that from buying the game. Gone are the days where you buy a game that's $100, take it home, you pick your character, and you can select what outfit they're wearing. These days, put the game in, select your character, and wait until you've unlocked that different outfit that your character wears before you can choose it. So there are points, and there's a good chance that with games like that these days, even though you've paid for the content, you may never see it.
Yeah, 100%. Well, the Division 2 has loot boxes, but you can win you win to unlock the loot boxes. Yeah. So like you can play it. You don't have to spend money, but obviously if you want them quicker, or if you want certain, like you don't want to take the chance, you want to buy a certain thing, then yeah, you can pay for it. I personally don't. I won't even buy the bloody the first season pass to get all the little extra bits and pieces because I've already paid $180 for the game.
You know what? I'm actually sick to death of giving games a leave pass because you don't have to pay for the microtransactions. You can play the game and get the content by getting in-game currencies and whatever you. Those things are heavily weighted towards making that very fucking hard to do unless you fork out the coin, then it's easy. My stance is, if it's a retail game that you buy, fuck off those microtransactions 100%. If it's a free-to-play game, didn't have to pay for it to buy it, fair game.
Yeah. I'll agree with you there.
I'm sick of it. I'm absolutely sick of it. You know, like, right. I haven't played... Sorry, I'm not finished. I'm to get started.
Right, well, that's why I stopped talking.
Mortal Kombat 11.
Haven't I? Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 11. Yep. That, from what I've heard, is a massive shit fight when it comes to extras and outfits and loot boxes and shit that you have to pay for.
The last 4 Mortal Kombats have been ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah. And it's really, really getting shit. I'm sick of it. I think it's a disease and it's growing. And companies like EA and Ubisoft and all that sort of stuff they're just laughing because people keep buying them. Oh, look, I don't know. As everyone says, you got to vote with your pockets. Don't pay for them. Don't buy them. But it's what people still do.
Yeah, it's a massive market. All right. Well, anyone else listening along, jump in. Like I said before, let us know what you think. All right, mate. Let's jump into some last words. All right, mate. Any shout-outs this week from you?
No. Hello, Az, Skrill, Nuggetbot, Radicus, Kazza. How are yous?
Everyone go on.
I'll give a shout-out to Brian from Synth Spacies. If you don't, go and check out Synth Spacies on Twitter. He's Synth Spacies on everything. So go and check him out. He's a very retro-centric kind of guy. Loves his Sega. He's an ex-Sega master from the Sega Helpline back in the day. Look, I don't know for sure, but maybe I may have spoken to him one of those days that I rang up and asked for some help on video games. Did you ever use the Sega Hotline?
No.
It was like $5 a minute or something like that. And I did.
I never had a Sega until I bought my own Game Gear. Oh,
okay. But yeah, so he used to do that. And he talks about that every now and then. He does a lot of Follow Fridays on Twitter, and he's got a lot of content out there. And he's even started streaming recently too. So I recommend and he does a Synth Spacies show, which I should shout out. I almost forgot. Synth Spacies show. Yeah, I was on episode 6, I think. He does them once a month on the 1st of every month, I think it is, or the first Saturday of every month or something like that. And I'm actually going to be in the next episode 8, which is Saturday coming.
Which is the day before this releases.
The day before this releases. So it'll be recorded.
Check it out. There'll be links around everywhere.
Yeah. So check that out. I'll be on it. There's a couple of other people that I haven't met yet, so their names escape me. There's a few episodes there already. Go and check them out. Synth Spacies.
And are you going to lock all your doors?
Huh?
Are you going to lock all your doors while you do this?
Why? To keep Leo out?
Keep Leo out, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, while I'm recording the show, for sure, yeah.
for sure.
Leo is a pest. Yeah.
Although I don't think a locked door's ever stopped him before.
It hasn't. No, he broke my window once. Yeah, and he
that was
wouldn't.
Just for fun, wasn't it?
No, he needed to take a shit. His toilet was broken again. But that's the kind of bloke he is. And do you ever remember watching Hey Dad? You know that guy that got arrested for being a pedo?
Yeah.
Well, not him.
Yeah. Hey Dad, there's a fiddler on the roof. Yeah.
Not him. Remember Nudge?
I do remember Nudge.
That's fucking Leo. That's him, but just not like a PG TV show version. He's like an R18 asshole version where he'll come in, eat my food, then shit it into my toilet, make it stink, and then leave. That's what he does.
He leaves.
And then every now and then he goes, "Oh, can I use your computer? I want to put a video up because Sid Spaces is doing his show." So I get him to use my computer and record some stuff in my office here, and he interrupts my videos sometimes, and mate, he does my head in. But anyway, he wants to do some live streaming. He's asked me to do some live streaming, so I don't know. I might let him.
I suggested Skyrim to him the other day, and he went off asking if I was on crack.
Did he?
He did.
I don't.
He asked for a suggestion. I said Skyrim. And then he went along and was like, "Are you wearing pants?" So I had to tell the truth, Like, dude, you know the answer to the question.
I don't remember seeing those things, but anyway. Skrill likes him. Leo's a cracker, apparently.
Oh, Leo is a cracker.
Crackhead.
Crackhead.
Yeah.
Oh, beauty, mate. All right, well, I've got one shout-out, not only to all the people that are listening along, because it's always great fun having you here, on our Discord channel, a bloke by the name of Boondy. So I got a nice little message through, I think it was yesterday afternoon, saying a big thanks for, was a personal shout out for me, which I was lost for words, but saying a big thanks for talking about the division and recommending it. And so him and his girlfriend had played through about a few hours, had been into the Dark Zone and had an absolute ball. So that's fantastic. I'm glad they didn't go into an occupied Dark Zone.
Yeah. Look at that, Snoogs.
Dark Zones.
Snoogs the influencer.
Influencer out there. The standard Dark Zones are really good on the division because they've got like a that they sort of base everyone around the same sort of strength. In the occupied Dark Zone, it's all about warfare.
Oh, okay.
It's back to the toxicity that the Division 1 Dark Zone was. Thank you very much. It did have me lost for words. It was great to hear that you guys have enjoyed it. So thank you very much. Well,
that like feedback is, I think, something that's underrated and sometimes reserved for negativity. Where I'll get feedback on some of my YouTube videos, but it's just people being an arsehole. Granted, there is a lot of good feedback that comes through, but I feel like feedback is something that is reserved a little bit. But that sort of stuff, we appreciate that so much. I mean, it doesn't have to be coming across eating our asses out saying, "Oh, I fucking love what you're doing," but just feedback. You can never give enough feedback to something like this. If you want to see something grow, if you even slightly enjoy our show, feedback will only make it better. And we want it and love it. It's really cool. As long as it's constructive feedback, not just being a jerk or anything. But if you've got some suggestions or feedback, if it's positive, if it's negative in a constructive way, send it through to us. We've got a review thing on our webpage, www.theagexp.com. We've also got a Discord channel. There's Twitter. If you reach out to us in any way, we'll see it and we'll take it on board and generally reply too. So I love it.
All right, mates. That other show. Go and give us a plug about that with your rich mahogany and leather-bound books.
Yes. That other show, it's about 20 minutes long. There's about 14 episodes. Not that I can ever get the episodes right. But it's a short podcast that I do just on me Pat Malone. And I talk about video game related things, and I try to mix it up when I do it. It's every now and then when I can style podcast. It's not weekly, it's not monthly, bi-monthly or anything like that. It's when I got the time and when I feel the itch. And it's just something I do in the meantime. So you can find that on iTunes, although I think iTunes or something is playing up at the moment, but hopefully it's still there. And if not, it's also up on the Aussie Gamers Experience YouTube channel as well. It's just a 20-minute little show that I do. And I try to make it interesting. And from the people that have left me comments, they seem to enjoy it. So that's something worth going and checking out.
Well, while you guys are checking out things, don't forget, like we've said before, www.theagexp.com. Get over and check out our website. I have done a little bit of research this week. Well, I'm still doing research, actually. I did. I was being, all grown up and shit. And our website is visited mostly by people in the US.
Makes sense.
That's where the biggest group of people come from. So Aussie listeners, get stuck in. Share it around. Have a look. Tell us what you think. Share it around. That's the best way to help it. Help you get in there and overtake those people in the US. The people in the US do the same.
Yeah, and it's worth checking out every now and then because the content that we put up on there is either our written reviews or it's official announcements that come from what would you call them? PR. So like it's direct.
The official game studios, really.
That's right. It's
coming from the gaming studios.
They'll send us official information and we put it up on our website. It's not always going to be. We don't have roaming reporters that will be going out and hunting down the news, but we get sent news direct from these guys, and we put it on our website. So it's good stuff. Like it is interesting to read. It's worth checking out. There's something that I've just put up there tonight about the green carpet experience for E3. That's absolutely worth reading. I can't remember exactly. Is it $20, $25? How much is it?
$20 and all proceeds go to charity.
$20.
So they've actually...
Yeah, so they give it all to charity and you get over $150 worth of stuff. And it's good stuff,
It's $150 experience. It's not just the stuff that you get.
Yeah.
It's the experience. You and I did it last year.
Yep.
And it was a phenomenal way to start the day. Yes, it was leaving our place at like 4:30 in the morning to get there.
Yeah, because you're watching E3, which is
E3, which is a 6 a.m. start. But we got there, had stuff to eat, coffee. So like you're surrounded by fellow gamers that are all there to see, Xbox stuff, and it's just an absolutely unbelievable experience. Skrill, don't worry about it. Go. If you can get in there. Go. You will find someone to talk to. You will find plenty of people to talk to.
For $20, you are getting, like you said, it's a $150 experience that you're paying $20 for. It's going to charity. You get a goodies bag with a whole bunch of stuff, and you also get the chance to win an Xbox One X. And in the little blurb I put into the post on the website, I've written in there that think about, all of those Facebook and Twitter competitions, right? Where you have a look at how many people have commented and retweeted and shit. And there's like 10,000 people are into it. You've got the chance to win an Xbox One X with like a cinema full of people as opposed to 25,000 people. The chances are massive. So think of it as a $20 raffle ticket and you get to watch E3, which we all love, on a big screen in a cinema. Yep. And you get to leave minimum with like $150 worth of stuff. And last year they gave out 12 months of Game Pass to everybody that was there. Yeah. So you paid $20.
And we got to see the Han Solo movie. This year they're doing the Dark Phoenix movie.
That's right. There's a movie that goes with it too.
Yeah. So it's well worth it.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely go. All right.
Enjoy it. And while we're still plugging everything, Twitch, Aussie Gamers TV, and Snooger Vision, make sure you get over there and jump on. Let us know.
Yep. Give us a follow and subscribe to me, not Snoogs.
Good. We can just follow me. I just like followers. You hit that follow button. You hit that follow button on mine, and it puts off a really funny sound. It's a bit of a throwback.
Hey,
You're not far wrong.
oh really? I'll have to unfollow you just so I can follow again and see it.
Yeah. Just don't do it with kids around.
Now okay. Now look, we've been going for a normal time. We've managed to fill an entire show with just the two of us. Just the two of us. Now I actually did prepare a whole nother segment. But we've run out of time. It'll have to be for another time now. But
yeah, we'll do it for the next one.
Yeah, next one, or I don't know. It depends on when I can come back. Or,
next one you're on.
That's it. All right. But yeah, I'm done. That's all I had to share.
No worries. Well, to close out the show, thank you very much to everyone that has listened to the show, and especially those that are still listening this far along. A super special thanks to Az, Kaz, Radicus, and Skrill, who've listening live and also putting plenty of stuff in. I'm guessing Kaz is working tonight because he hasn't gone crazy. So
yeah,
I haven't had too many moments of. Lucas, thank you very much, mate.
No worries.
For joining me and keeping me in line.
Happy to be here.
Greg, thank you, mate. Greg, hope you're feeling better. And we will all talk to you soon. To all of our listeners, feel free to continue any of the topics we've discussed on this show on our Facebook page or Discord channel. To get in touch with us directly, you can shoot us an email at info@theagexp.com. Again, don't forget to hit up our website, www.theagexp.com. On there is a review section where you can leave us a review, leave us some feedback, leave us your thoughts, your wants, all that sort of jazz. Links, as always, are in the podcast show notes and description below. That's all from me. As always, I'm Snoogs.
And I've been Lucas. Ooh, okay, that's the end of this week's podcast. And if you found yourself shouting at your speakers in disgust or maybe even in pleasure, make your way over to our Discord server and make a comment in the appropriate channel. Failing that, you can also have your say over on our Facebook page, or you can just tweet at us. Searching for the Aussie Gamers Experience will usually lead you in the right direction, but you could just use the set of links that are in the show description. This podcast is available through Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio, and plenty more. Thank you very much for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode of the official podcast of the Aussie Gamers Experience.